Welcome to the Saturday Night Show, improv show, hosted by Oaktown of Oakland. It's an improv group. And tonight we're honored to have the fantastic Unusuals, the three Unusuals improvers, Ben Yates, Heather Williamson, and me. I'm part of it too. So
Heather Williamson.
we we based a set on one word that you're going to type in. So if you please type in one word, we will use that to create a wonderful, imaginative, creative world for you. And the word is caterpillar.
Ooh. So inspiring hearing these stories of your youth, Isabel. It makes me want to live my childhood all over again.
Yes, I was very lucky. I was allowed to romp around the fields and climb trees and occasionally go over into a small store and spend a dime for a piece of licorice. Oh, youth.
I think I'm a little too old for romping.
Well, you're never too old for romping if you have the right equipment.
I've read the Kama Sutra.
Oh. You are one to get into the books, aren't you, Elizabeth?
I've torn out 3 images that I think are good.
You didn't have to tear those images out. Could have just taken a piece of paper and then held it to the light and stenciled it.
No. The other 919 images are just undoable. And it's a book from the 80s.
Oh, come on. As I say, nothing is undoable with the right equipment.
Let me give you the rest of the book. All the other pictures qualify as a romp.
Well, I would love to take a look at the book, but I mean, if you own the book, why did you rip the pages?
Cut to the author of the book in the 1880s. Let me see.
How long do you need me to pose like this?
Adequate. Maybe several hours more. I think we'd do it. I'm doing the illustrations, of course, at this point.
It's been fascinating spending the week with you, Izzy Duber.
Thank you, good sir.
Author of the new and improved Kama Sutra.
Yes, thank you. It took me many years of study and, of course, exploration in the Middle East, in India, to fully understand the essence of the Kama Sutra. Oh, yes, my dear. I think if you can move your left arm a little bit to the left, yeah, that's it. In wonder. You're in wonder at the appendages of your partner, in awe, so to speak. Wonderful. Yes, I catch that essence there. Thank you, my dear. You can take a
rest. Add some, just a log to the fire. I am just freezing here.
Yes. I can do that. While perhaps while Izzy answers. Well, Izzy, I only have a few hours left here, and I need to get into the important questions. So perhaps you can answer this while I'm throwing a log on the flames.
Yes. And before I do that, good sir, my dear Rosalie, you may take a break and then join us if you wish. Cover yourself, of course.
Oh, don't cover yourself on my account.
I'll cover myself on my account.
Very good, Rosalie.
So, Mr. Duber,
yes.
How many of these positions, the 1001 positions, have you actually done yourself?
All of them, of course. It's research, every one of them. I found them most stimulating. especially the ones involving the contortion of the abdomen.
So you've done all of them then?
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, how did you do all of them? This one's impossible.
It's seemingly, yes. Oh, yes, that one. Yes, that one. I was in traction for a month after that one. The
Traction.
Royal Academy. Wonderful
Hmm.
doctors there. Wonderful.
And you didn't snap your neck here?
Yes, it took me again several years to recover from that one. It was a long process to go through all 1,000 positions, of course.
So this
And
is
are
a
you really this hung?
My dear, in order to successfully go through all of the positions, one must be adequately endowed, of course.
Oh, okay. So there's a size to play, so to speak.
Yes, if you notice, for instance, if you turn to the page 73, you'll see in a position that's seemingly impossible, seemingly, unless, of course, the gentleman is very, very, very well endowed to reach the
Oh, that's not an arm.
no. It looks like an arm, doesn't it?
Shouldn't those be in a special chapter?
I
You know,
think,
Good
yeah, I
sir.
think he has a point. Some people might feel intimidated by these seemingly impossible moves.
Ah, yes, I grant you that is a distinct possibility. But it's the spirit of the Kama Sutra that's important. The spirit of it, you see. It's not necessarily that you must complete every position successfully, but trying is the important part, because in the trying, the central nature of both parties comes together. And of course, you'll benefit, correct? Now, sir, this article that you're writing will be in the London Telegraph, I assume.
that is correct.
Yes.
In the Sunday edition, seen by all, or most all.
And then will there be pen and ink illustrations of my dear Rosalie, the model?
I think we can probably do an etching of her, somewhat revealing, but not very revealing, if you know what I mean.
Oh, of course. After all, it's England in 1886.
So, I mean, we want it to be dicey. We want it to be alluring. But of
But
course,
I do have to say, as a woman of the evening, many of us have been catching our worser times here in London in 1886. I fear that perhaps an etching of me in the paper would make me a target.
Ah,
I'd rather have some anonymity here.
well,
yes.
what if the etching was a bit more, shall we say, ambivalent?
Well, it's not so much it's not about how I am or present myself. It's about letting people know what I look like in the paper, where some ruffian or scoundrel could read it at any time and see that image, and then they see me on the street, and then they treat me horribly because they think, oh, she's a little famous. I want to demean her.
So it can't look like you at all then. Well, we can manage that. We can make up a face.
Yes.
Honestly, I think the good sir's Wang would be quite an etching to have on there.
Well,
Certainly.
we could
It
probably
could be called Sea Serpent Discovered in the Thames.
Oh, a Loch Ness monster.
Yes. A likeness monster, yes, of certain degree, yes, of course.
Cut to the editor. Cut to the editor's office of the New York. I mean the London.
Times.
Mr. Editor, this is my idea here. The etching. This is the female model's body, but we're putting a different head on it.
Whose head?
Well, it's just a random head. We have an artist. Remember Gunther, the one who does faces quite well. He's
I hired Gunther. Of course, I know Gunther.
making up a face.
It's making up a face.
Yes.
I don't want too much head swapping, you know. There's some guy chopping off ladies' heads and removing their organs, and I just
I
feel like
see.
it's in bad taste if we do that.
This Victorian era is just really dragging on.
It really is. You know, I'm glad we have the lamppost. What's next? What
Well,
is next, God damn it?
We've
What
had
is next is cut to Dr. Jekyll interviewing a new butler.
Yes.
Yes. Qualifications seem quite in order, Philip. Can you describe some of your past experiences in the world of butlering?
Yes, Dr. Jekyll. I have worked in Paris for most of my life, illuminating a castle for a bit of a beastly master, but he was generous in the end. I have been trained under many tutelages on food service and valeting.
Yes. It all seems in order. I'm looking at your recommendations here. Here's a nice one from Sir Philip de Tocqueville of Paris. He seems to have had a very good experience with you.
Yes, Sir Philip had all of Paris underneath his lordship, and I was very good at hiding his syphilis scars.
Such an important job to do, of course. Yes, I notice here that you also dressed and undressed Felipe. Yes, it was part of your chores, dressing, undressing him.
That would be the
feeding him.
valet service that I was trained
Yes.
underneath.
So you changed his clothes, put him to bed at night, fed him, spoon-fed him, walked him.
Yes,
read to
one
him.
foot in front of the other, as
Read
we
to him,
say.
sang to him. Remarkable. Of course, I will wish the same services from you.
But of course, Doctor, I would do no different for Sir Philip than I would for you, unless you were allergic to fish, as Sir Philip had cod liver oil every Thursday.
I do have one request, though. Well, it's rather a rule here. If you notice, at the end of the hall, there's a doorway there. That leads to a sub-basement. The key is kept in my desk in the first drawer to the right. However, you're never supposed to take that key, and you're never supposed to enter the basement. That is a rule, an important rule, because that's where I do my thinking and some of my experiments.
Oh, Sir Dr. Jekyll, you don't need to explain. I butlered for Dr. Frankenstein, as you can see, and I know I know doctors in general need their privacy.
Cut to butlering for Frankenstein.
Sir, I polished your bolts.
Ooh, thank you. I have a little more sewing to do this evening.
See, would you like me to get the mud out of your shoes and Igor's, or set up the lightning rod, as I saw clouds approaching.
Why don't you check on Igor? He was doing something suspicious earlier. I'm not sure what it was. There he is. Igor, where have you been?
Yeah,
Master Igor, how
yeah.
good to have your presence. Oh, and I see you're holding a fish. Excellent. I will extract its essence for its oil.
Igor,
Yes,
what have you been doing?
I went to the laboratory, doctor. Yeah, doctor. I brought you what you asked for.
I asked for a brain, Igor.
Isn't this a brain?
No, it looks like that's Shirley MacLaine's record-winning album.
I, it looked like a brain. I'll go. So a brain, yes.
Common mistake, Master Igor.
Go to the editor's office 2 hours later. So you don't want a new face. You don't want the lady turned. You don't want Jack the Knife. You don't want Jack the Ripper. You don't want Dr. Frankenstein. You don't want Queen Victoria. You don't want Genghis Khan. There only leaves one thing.
I think we both know what that leaves us with.
It's a huge wanker. I don't know if you're going to print that.
That's not an arm?
Oh, I thought it was Loch Ness Monster the first time I saw it, but no.
Oh, it is a one-eyed monster.
It is required for Kama Sutra positions 7, 27, 38, 52, 63, 73, 78, 97, and 101.
Are you trying to tell me you have a big dick, Thomas?
Well, you said you're sick of Little Richard. Well, we have Big Dick here.
Technically, this is medical. There's nothing wrong with a flaccid wiener.
Well, is my article then going to have to go into the scientific section?
We'll put it in the section B.
Section B.
I hear Queen Victoria never reads past section A.
This. I was hoping this would be my breakout article, sir.
Well, if you want to do something that's breaking, why don't you find this person who's dismembering the ladies of London?
I should risk my own life and limb to find some homicidal maniac.
Do you think I didn't risk life and limb to be sitting at this desk right now?
What about Dr. Jekyll?
What about Dr. Jekyll? The man's genius. He came up with the idea for cast.
For gas?
Cast. You know, when you hurt your bone and then they wrap it up in plaster.
Oh, the plaster cast, yes.
Yes. It's genius.
Of course. Well, he's just...
He's just what?
I mean, if he's a medical sleuth, maybe, a genius can get on to a killer.
Are you asking me permission?
Cut to Dr. Jekyll's new patient, Count Valacula. Yes, come in, sir. Come in, sir. Come in. Yes, come in. Yes, I'm happy to meet you. I see that you're a count.
Yes.
How interesting. How interesting, my good man.
Yes,
I could,
interesting to meet you as well.
yes. I can say a few things immediately upon looking at you. You seem that you may be suffering from anemia by the pallor, the whiteness of your flesh. I would say a good meal and some good outside, some robust activity in the sunshine might do you good, sir.
Well, let's just say I get plenty of hemoglobin, if that's what you're asking.
Hmm. Yes. Okay, so you made an appointment to see me.
Yes.
It must have been for either a medical examination or interested in my book about the Kama Sutra, or thirdly, applying to rent my mansion in Piccadilly. Which of the three, kind sir?
Well, clearly your book was written by someone else. And you've stolen it. You've plagiarized it. No, I'm here.
Very observant, of course.
Yes.
The original text was not written by me, of course not.
Was not.
No, it was written by Salim Sahida, a Maharaja in the province of Bakur in India. I merely translated it. That's my genius.
Well, doctor, as you know, or maybe you don't know, I'm Count Valacula.
Count Lacula.
Valacula.
Valacula. Ah,
Yes.
Lacula. Yes, yes. And
I've come because, well, I'm on a mono diet. So I don't know if you know much about mono diets.
It's something that I've read about. It's all the rage in Mesopotamia, I understand.
Well, I just feel unsatisfied. And so perhaps this anemia look that you're seeing is something of a deep dissatisfaction running through my veins.
Ah, yes, yes. I've read about this. Yes, yes. The latest writings of a doctor in Austria, Freud, I believe his name is. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Where afflictions of the mind can manifest themselves physically, and could very well be in your case. Have you been to Austria, my friend?
Austria? Well, I passed through Austria on the way here.
Yes.
Cut to 2 weeks ago in Austria with Count Vacula and Sigmund Freud. So, you say you can only eat one thing, the carrots. Do you see how this is are you eating a rat?
Well, it was scurrying through your study. And I thought, why not? And no, I only sucked its blood.
So you're aware you're sucking.
I'm sorry, was I sucking too loudly, doctor?
Okay, so you say sucking. You understand how all of this, eating the rat, is a sign that you are a homosexual.
And yet it was you that said I only ate carrots, which seems to me is a projection of your sexual urges.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm gay?
I'm trying to tell you that all you think about is your weenus. That's what we call it in my country.
Maybe we make out a little?
I read this position, the Kama Sutra. Not the original Kama Sutra, but some derived copy by some crazy doctor who I'm on my way to see.
It's crazy doctor?
This position it's Latin. It's called libido. Would you care to try it?
Yes, I do care. And I will feel guilt.
Well, that's up to you. I rarely feel any kind of guilt or remorse, personally.
That's because of your mother.
Hmm. I do not know my mother. Perhaps
So we get close, chest to chest like this.
close. And then I hang upside down from my boots.
Oh, 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 you see how when you hang upside down, you look like a giant penis?
Oh, precisely.
Cut to Sherlock Holmes interviewing the prostitute.
So I have cucumber and lemon, and I put it in a bowl, and then I mash it up, and then I apply it to my face and my armpits, and that's why I smell like this.
Delightful, delightful young lady. Very, very delightful. I have some questions for you about this rash of atrocities happening on the streets adjoining the Thames. Being a woman in a certain occupation in the evenings, I need to find out what you know about the past victims, your friendships with them, their habits, and frankly, your observations about the life of the people in the evening near the Thames.
Well, I see many people come and go. My friends, they were normal prostitutes.
Mhm.
You try to get a job and you never know. Sometimes you come back with a black eye. I see men, two distinct men in trench coats walking up and down the Thames around 2 a.m. and they come back with muddy shoes
Hmm.
around 3 a.m.
Hmm.
always carrying a large sack.
Hmm.
Um, I there's this guy who's just, he hangs out and he has a knife, but he never does anything. He's just been standing on the corner of Thames and 7th with a knife, So I just don't go down to 7th. I don't go past 5th, actually.
Excuse me for a moment. Watson, would you bring in the etchings of the suspects, please?
No, I'm busy.
Watson.
Leave me
Please.
alone. Holmes, leave me alone. I need my private time.
All right, well, just slip them under the door, if you will, please.
Fine.
There it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, dear Watson.
Leave me
Is
alone.
that is that a giant penis?
No, that's one of the etchings. That's one of my private etchings. I don't know how it got mixed up with the etchings of the suspect. Ignore it, please. Ignore that one. First one we call, yes, this one. It looks a very distinguished looking gentleman here. Can you identify this person smoking a pipe?
Yes, it's Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll, okay. One of the suspects. This fellow over here, hanging upside down on a lamppost, very pale.
Oh, yes, it's Count Vacula. He has a terrific abroutine.
Okay. And this gentleman here with a bolt through his neck and a large
Oh,
scar across his cheeks.
that is actually Frankenstein's monster. A lot of people could get him confused with Dr. Frankenstein.
Okay. Okay, and this fellow here, he dressed similarly to Dr. Jekyll, except a much hairier face, long teeth, rather aggressive and frightening looking fellow.
I don't know him.
You don't, okay?
No.
Really, don't. You've never had any business with this man.
He must be below 5th.
Cut to the writer and Dr. Jekyll. Don't.
Ah, yes, come in, please.
Ah, yes. Nice to meet you, sir.
Yes.
I'll just close that. Let me get right to the point, if I might.
Yes, please.
I need to have my writing breakthrough. I'm quite a good writer, but I never get seen. I'm always in B section because I'm doing things that are too risque and such. And you being a genius, I thought perhaps you could dabble in detective work for a bit and solve this beheading person that's running around London.
Well, I understand that you've made quite a name for yourself in many of the articles you've written, especially the one about the the so-called Martians landing and the tripods walking around. I didn't see one, but understood it caused quite a mess. And then there's
That was a wonderful family tale. So some things don't need to be true to be in the.
Yes, I love the illustrations, the tentacles coming out of the walking tripods.
Thank you. I'm trying to hit a home run, as it were. I feel like I'm just making up that expression, but
well, I do have an idea for you, something that I hesitated to mention, but I think it finally needs to be told. If you'd like, I can make an arrangement for you to have a meeting with the notorious Captain Nemo, who, by the way, is a female. People have assumed that Captain Nemo was a male, which was totally a patriarchal myth, as if a woman couldn't conduct one-woman warfare against. But I will introduce you, and I think therein lies the story, and probably the essence or the solving of this mystery. The key to the mystery lies, I think, with Ms. Nemo.
You think Captain Nemo is at the heart of this beheading mystery?
I think that there's definitely something to that.
Well, there's two mysteries because Captain Nemo went down with the ship.
That's what you think. No, she lives. She lives.
Well,
she has an apartment in Piccadilly, as a matter of fact.
Piccadilly. Well, I may just
quite a close friend of Darwin. Yes.
This may be my real article. Captain Ms.
Nemo, I keep telling you.
Captain Nemo in Piccadilly. Yeah.
And quite friendly with Mr. Darwin, I understand.
I'll take that.
Dr. Darwin and Ms. Nemo.
I'll have a little bit more sugar.
Well, of course you will.
How's that evolution theory going?
Well, it's just everyday life,
Yeah, you keep saying that, but my everyday life involves an octopus trying to eat me. They got like a bird mouth underneath all them legs.
I think, Captain, you may be referring to the giant squid.
I'm only a captain in the sea, so maybe I'll listen to you and say it's a squid as well.
Well, I've studied where the squid evolved from. See, the octopus is not in the evolutionary chain that's evolved to great proportions, like the giant squid and the whale shark.
Do whale sharks marry their cousins?
Was that 2 sugars? Or 1?
I guess the tea's already sweet enough. I thought you added it.
I was looking for some sugar. I got sidetracked. Your questions, you see. I'm wondering if you aren't a predator. And perhaps your lineage will continue because, well, you're fit to survive.
So you just come up with any theory and see if it will stick on someone long enough for you to make sense.
That's you've been reading Kant. Well,
it's Kant.
Perhaps, but I'm not completely British. Only partly.
What does that have anything to do with you being completely British? You know, I hate you land people so much. You know, if you didn't water my plants when I was out in my submarine, I'd just never talk to you again, Darwin.
There's something I've always been interested in. Did you kill your twin?
I mean, can a fetus murder?
See, it's a great philosophical question. Can a fetus murder? Like, when does it start? If you ask Freud, Freud would say it started in the womb.
Don't talk to that guy. He's a total queer.
Well, I've heard he loves strange characters like Batman and Counts from the East.
Oh, I mean, I don't mind if you got a bunch of cherries in your cake, so to speak. I just think that one should be honest about that, you know?
Have you ever mated, Captain?
I've got it around.
And any offspring to speak of?
It's insulting.
Is it? You're just, what would Freud say? Freud would say you're making an excuse.
Freud would say,
what's the answer? Have you had offspring or not? Or are they ashamed of you? Is that why you speak not of them?
no, it's simply the cabin pressure when you go underwater, okay? When you get under 6,000 feet, that pressure compresses the uterus, okay?
6,000 feet. 6,000 feet, what is that? Isn't that about 20,000 leagues?
Well, that's what I'm known for. Sometimes I think about getting this written down, telling my adventures, but I don't know if anyone could really capture my ideas right.
I need to speak with your offspring.
I'm telling you, they're with Davy Jones.
You lost your twin and your offspring.
No, I absorbed my twin.
You absorbed. Ooh. Now that is something that Freud and I could have quite the conversation over.
Do you like Freud or something? Are you guys together? Like you bring him up every goddamn chance you get.
Well,
Okay?
he's on to something, and I don't know whether I smell a rat.
Then what? He doesn't want women to work, okay? I mean, I'm glad that he's finally like someone's talking to the crazy folks. Like, good for him on that. But other than that, what everything's about parents. I never met my parents. They died after I absorbed my twin.
Did you kill your parents?
Depends if a fetus can murder or not. We've been here before.
Are you really a woman?
Hey. Hey.
I'm a scientist.
That's a line, Darwin. You just crossed the line.
I'm a scientist.
How dare you? How dare you?
I think you're quite one of the fittest of them all, but I need to prove it.
Why don't you go kiss your cousin? Oh, I meant your wife.
Kiss. The things you say are so refreshing, Captain.
Cut to Sherlock Holmes and the prostitute once again. If I just for a moment, my dear, Watson, can you bring me my cocaine, please?
I'm making breakfast.
Yes, but I need my cocaine.
No, you are a druggie.
It's on the counter by my Yeah, the counter next to the
Will
copy.
not be codependent with you. You have to take care of your own addictions.
It's right next to the copy of Alice in Wonderland.
Stop.
What can you do? Hey, did you ever read that? Alice in Wonderland? Good book.
I don't know how to read.
Oh, you should learn. You should learn.
I'm putting Alice in Wonderland under the door.
Nice. Yeah. You ruined it, of course, when you did that, but you know. This guy, I mean, gotta love him, gotta
bitch.
love him. You know, he's a doctor. Did you believe it? Dr. Watson. You know, a doctor of what though? That's my question. Want some snuff?
Oh, I don't touch the stuff.
You could do it off me if you like, but you seem quite fine with just shoving it up your nose as much as you can. You know, some people chop it up first a little bit. You just
Ooh,
wad it in there.
stuff. That's some good stuff. Anyway, I've got a theory. I want to bounce it off you.
All right.
Wait, bounce it off you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you want to whack it off, that's going to be 50 euros.
That's fine. You got Watson. Could you give me the? Yeah, Watson. Would you give me pass some of the pound notes under the door, please?
I'm eating breakfast.
I don't know what you can do with this guy. But
Cut,
here,
cut to the writer and Nemo. No, yes, thank you for seeing me.
Yeah, I've heard really good things from someone.
Interesting.
Yes.
So let me just start at the beginning. I'd like to know why you're still here. How did you not go down with the ship?
The question you have to ask yourself is can a fetus murder?
That reminds me of someone. Oh well. Good question. Can a fetus murder? Are you any good at solving murders?
There was a man named David Templeton who joined me on my ship. We thought he was a close friend, but when our cook and then our scullery maid was hacked up, we knew that Dan Thompson was not a good man.
What happened to Dan Thompson?
I enjoy cocoa over tea, but no one serves cocoa north of the equator.
Mhm.
I'm sure
Are you getting all of this down?
I am. I'm sure that'll change soon. All the sailing vessels we have these days. So did Dan Thompson behead the scullery maid?
Dan Thompson.
It was something like Thompson.
Yes, Dan Thompson. He did. He hacked the scullery maid shoulder, but the cook cleared off her head.
He took off the head of the cook.
Took off the head of the cook.
Did you throw this Thompson overboard by chance so he could?
See, the thing is, he went down with the ship.
Oh,
We fought underwater, tangled up in boxing. I got away, popped up with fresh air in my lungs, and I saw land.
you were on the ship.
Of course, it's my ship.
How did you escape your own ship?
I was after Dan Thompson. I knew it was him because the bloody hatchet was underneath his bed. I confronted him. He got angry. He shoved his fist through the porthole, breaking the glass. The pressure was too much. It started streaming in. The buckles and wrenches around the other windows in the room started to spring as well. Water came rushing and flooding. Thankfully, a rip of it came. We tangled our bodies, going through the rip, submerging, almost as if being reborn from some holy underwater vagina. And then, in the tussles and the punches, I erupted and I escaped. And I knew that he was down in the water, even though I couldn't confirm. And I know it, and don't you dare say he wasn't. There's no proof Dan Thompson is still alive.
Ah, so Dan Thompson's fists are so strong they can go through 2 inches of plate glass.
Well, it was
Glass that
actually,
can withstand 20,000 leagues.
we were actually about 300. We were just going down. He was real quick on the murders. Honestly, you could tell it was him because, his hands were red. I should have just with that for the first one. The cook would have been alive now.
Cut to the writer and Sherlock Holmes. Excuse me, Mr. Holmes, for interrupting. I know you're busy.
Oh, of course. Yes, no. I'm always make time for the press, of course. Watson. Watson.
What?
Here?
What?
Yes. Pass me my memorandum, the one on my coffee table in my bedroom.
Baby, my memorandum in the coffee table in the bedroom watching.
That's what I thought.
Bedroom watching.
Yeah. Thanks. This roommates. What are you going to do, right?
Yes.
Pays half the rent, so.
Sure, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Listen, Mr. Holmes.
Want some stuff?
Yes, please. Just
A little bit for you.
oh, yeah.
A little bit for me. A little teeny bit for me.
Yes. Woo. Mr. Holmes, I'm on to something. I know who the London beheading killer is. It's
You do?
the twin of Dan Thompson.
I've never heard of him. Who's it? Sounds like an American. How is he in England and London? You must be mistaken, kind sir.
No, he's an Englishman, Thompson. It's an English name.
David Thompson, you say?
Daniel. So yes, I realize that Daniel's a Hebrew name, but still.
Yes.
But this
Biblical
man,
roots.
this man could apparently punch his fist through plate glass that's good to 20,000 leagues.
Hmm. I've heard of a tale of I heard of a tale of a man, a brute, wandering the Thames waterfronts, dressed seemingly like a gentleman with top hat and long coat, but immense, strong as a bull, with a horrible fangs and hairy, holding a cane that a gentleman or a doctor would hold. But I've heard of tales of such. Could this man then be David Thompson that you talk about?
You should chat him up and get his last name. I think
Yes,
it's twin of
like
Dan. I think it's Jim Thompson.
Can you arrange a meeting? Are you that connected? Is it possible? Because I would very much like to interview this Daniel Thompson.
Fine. I'll see what I can do.
Cut to Queen Victoria reacting to a weighing on Section B of the paper.
Your Highness?
Cut to Dan Thompson's meeting.
I'm so glad that you could come in, Mr. Thompson. Yes, please be seated.
Oh, the famous Watson, Dr. Watson, and Mr. Holmes. I have to say, Dr. Watson, You're much shorter than I anticipated.
Oh, just get over it. Crying out loud.
We're very blessed and overjoyed that Dr. Watson is not so busy that he could not join us. Thank you. Mhm.
While it lasts, Holmes, I do have a loaf in the oven.
Oh, I guess there's a mystery arrives.
Your shenanigans never cease to amaze me.
Can we get to the point?
The point is that you're here to help me interview Daniel Thompson. And so I assumed was an American. It turns out that you're also British.
Okay, it is. I'm also British.
Daniel Thompson, and thank you again for coming into our flat
Well,
on Baker Street. Plug that, Baker Street. A little bit off the rent, if I can mention it.
I'm not looking for a room.
Oh, you're not.
I'm not.
Darn it.
I'm a bit confused as why I'm here, gentlemen, and I haven't been offered
Invited.
cocaine once or
You were-
snuff.
You were invited at the recommendation of a Charles Darwin, Esquire, National Geographic Society.
Oh, the man who married his cousin. Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, I didn't know that. Really? Oh, that's interesting.
I've grown weary, Mr. Holmes. I'm checking on my loaf.
That's...
It's hard to get good help.
Well, thanks again for coming. I just have a few questions, if you wouldn't mind answering. I have no official.
I've got it, Mr. Holmes. I've got it. Oh, who's this?
This is Daniel Thompson.
But I've gotten you a meeting with his twin, Jim Thompson.
Jim Thompson? James Thompson?
What?
I thought Dan Thompson was dead.
What? What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Let's see. Watson, if you don't mind, bring James Thompson in then. Bring him in.
I'm checking my loaf. I'll do it.
Mr. James Thompson and Mr. Daniel Thompson.
Jim, please come all the way. Sir.
I assume you know each other.
I do. I'm Jim Thompson, and this is my brother Dan, who is a scoundrel. I am not a scoundrel, okay? I am just a free spirit. You chopped off someone's head. That has been confirmed by Captain Nemo.
Well, Captain Nemo told Charles Darwin, who told me that Daniel Thompson chopped off a cook's head.
That's what we're saying. Holmes, Holmes, please try to keep up. That's what Jim said.
No, Jim said that.
And Jim is a liar. He is a liar. I am not a liar. I'm a Presbyterian.
Listen, that article is going to press today.
How do you know about an article that's going to press?
No, not breasts. Holmes, nothing to do with breasts.
Is that a Freudian slip?
I must tell you, I hate Sigmund Freud. He got me hooked on snuff.
I love Sigmund. Sigmund is weird. He's definitely a homosexual.
That's without a doubt.
Seems to be the consensus.
Oh, come on. He's straight as an arrow.
Consensus is straight as an arrow? I knew
No, he's as straight as an arrow.
Who's he?
No, the consensus is straight as an arrow. Shouldn't we arrest him?
Dan, please, if I can just have a word with Dan just for a moment. Dan, how did you get off the Nautilus alive?
It was simple. I took a goldfish bowl that was nearby,
flipping it upside down and putting it over my head created a vacuum, allowing me an endless supply of oxygen. As I sank towards the bottom of the ocean, I had my team, my butler. He'd worked with me for several years. He was waiting there, well trained and holding his breath with a spear. He launched the spear forward, and I grabbed onto it, and then I was sent at a 45-degree angle to the other side. And that's how I escaped the Nautilus.
Something fishy in that story. But
Cut to Nemo and Ahab in a bar drinking. Captain Ahab.
Eh,
You ever hate something so much? I mean, really, really hate it so much that you're willing to like give everything in your life for that pursuit. Just everything, every ounce of your energy, of your soul, just in that one pursuit because of something you hate that much. That ever happened to you?
Ahab, I'm a woman. That happens to me every single goddamn day of my life since I was 6.
Well, I got to drink to that. This goddamn fish, I'm just fishing, bites off my goddamn leg like it was nothing, takes off with a big shit-eating grin on his face. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Shit-eating grin on his face and dives. Here I am, one leg, and the stump bleeding like hell, sharks circling around. What the hell am I supposed to do? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
That fish
This reminds me of that sailor song.
there's old Billy Budd.
Oh,
Come on, join us,
the
Billy. Billy Budd,
sea.
come on in. We're going to sing a song.
Down by the sea. I was fishing, he was with me. We went down to the kitchen to go out and find a potato. Everybody ate a tomato. Passed it on to my good friend Kim. He is now filled with gin. I like rum and beer, you see. We drinking nothing but tea. Ha! Ha! The sea is big, the sea is big.
The sea is
big, the sea is big.
big.
Is
Oh, the Nautilus is home to us. The bottom of the sea is generous. So come with me, oh Captain Nemo.
Captain Nemo!
Nemo, the greatest captain of them all. So let's all cheer him out, Captain Nemo.
One for all!
One for all, Captain Nemo.
and all for. Wait, isn't that Darwin?
Darwin doing, Darwin, what you doing here? This is for men. This is for drinking men and women, of course.
I'm doing research, if you don't mind. Captain Nemo is the fittest of them all. And
Yes.
Ahab, also a captain,
She is a captain.
and quite unfit. Ahab, my guess is that you have not long for this world.
How dare you say that, Darwin? I told you, you do not mess with my people, the words.
Ah! Ah!
Yeah.
Yes,
A day
That's
you come
right,
in
get
here,
him.
preppy.
yes. You're definitely going to survive.
Why are you bringing the glass into your neck? What is with this guy? He's a freak. He married his cousin.
I'm simply throwing my glove at it. It usually works.
I never liked him. I never liked him from day one.
Me either. I hope Dan Thompson kills him next.
Yeah.
You are weak, Ahab. You are weak.
I swear,
I can hit you with
that's
my
a
club.
prosthetic.
I'll tell you something about that Dan Thompson. He's the best damn.
I'll kill you, Ahab, you bastard. ah, ah. You,
Hey,
you don't deserve to survive, Ahab. Ah.
that fucker. Seriously, why don't you go down, man?
Oh
No
my
doubt.
God. Oh my God. Celebrity
See,
time.
it's really big.
Celebrity time. Look who just walked in. Edgar Allan Poe. My God. Look, it's Edgar Allan.
Edgar
Are you- Oh
Allan
my God.
There it is.
Poe.
Edgar
Edgar.
Allan. Oh my God. I'm a big fan. How about you, Nemo? I'm a big fan.
Oh man, your stuff
Edgar,
just brings like
Edgar
just joy to me.
Allan fucking
Like I've
Poe.
never felt more seen, connected. It's amazing.
I named my dog Lenore.
Get it? Leonore. Leonore. It's
Yeah.
like
May
nevermore.
May the ravens pluck out your eyes.
So
May the devil
metal. It's so metal.
see your disguise. May you never breathe fresh air.
Ugh.
I will find your soul and burn
Oh my
it
God.
everywhere.
Everywhere. Come
Bring
on.
your
Everywhere.
Raven crapping on my shoulder there.
You know, if my uterus wasn't squeezed to bits, I would have your kid.
Send in the birds.
Fucking Allan Poe.
You walk around with 30 crows all the time.
Pendulum. Pendulum. Yeah. What's that? What's that I hear?
I hate
What's
you,
that here I-
Ahab! Ahab, you bastard!
God darn it.
You bastard!
Rapping at my ballroom door. What is that?